The former Dutch colony of West Papua declared independence by 1962. But since then, Indonesia has claimed control over the region. In economic terms, it is the poorest region in the country. Also one that has seen the worst of human rights violations. A small group of natives has been engaged in an armed conflict for a long time now, and today the government of Indonesia deployed more than 1,000 troops. Because the largest and most violent protests in years has been raging on. 34 people have been arrested, internet access has been cut off. It all began after a nationalist mob attacked students on the country's Independence Day. Our next report has more details.
Indonesia's easternmost province has been ravaged by riots for 3 consecutive days now. While a separatist movement has simmered on for decades in Papua, with frequent reports of human rights abuses by Indonesian security forces, the current unrest began after nationalist groups goaded Papuan students with racist taunts, calling them monkeys, pigs, and dogs. Even as the country celebrated its Independence Day on the 17th of August, Papuan students were detained in the East Java city of Surabaya. They were accused of disrespecting the Indonesian flag in front of a dormitory. What followed were protests across multiple cities in the region, which is divided into the provinces of Papua and West Papua. Angry Papuans began taking to the streets on Monday, first in Jayapura, from where the violent protests have since spread to Manokwari, Fakfak and Timika. "5,000 people rallied in and around the city of Timika, the closest town to the massive Freeport gold and copper mine, where protesters threw rocks at a parliament building, houses, shops and a hotel. Police fired tear gas after the crowds set fire to a market in Fakfak and destroyed ATMs and shops. On Tuesday, hundreds marched through the streets of Sorong city in Papua. Protesters destroyed parts of an airport. About 300 inmates escaped from a prison after it was set on fire during the riots. However, nearly all of them who fled have now willingly turned themselves in.
About 98% of the inmates have surrendered themselves, and we are cross-checking their data, identification and contact details. They are very cooperative and came to surrender themselves. They said they left because they were panicking. On that day, 289 people escaped this prison.
So far, Indonesia has arrested 34 people in connection with the violence. Since Wednesday, Papuans have been cut off from accessing social media, although telephone calls and text messages remained unaffected. But Indonesia has now snapped off internet access completely. An additional 1,200 military and police troops have now been deployed in West Papua, even as the government has called for peace.
We are here under the command of the President. The President said that we have to safeguard the brotherhood and unity, and he hopes the incidents which happened a few days ago can be resolved so that we can return to a country of solidarity.
But the protests have now reached the doors of President Joko Widodo in capital Jakarta. Hundreds of Papuans staged a peaceful march around the presidential palace, bearing banners and Free Papua flags and chanting anti-colonial slogans. They're demanding self-determination for West Papua. Bureau Report, WION World is Wide.